It's become one of the most debated issues in our state, the future of fracking. Supporters say it can bring in millions of dollars, thousands of jobs, and help secure our country's energy independence from overseas.
But it comes with risks, and many of our states say those risks are just too high. WNCN Investigates Jonathan Rodriguez takes us inside the debate.
When it comes to energy, natural gas is on fire. The U.S. is now producing more than any other country on the planet, and part of the reason is hydraulic fracturing, better known as fracking. Protesters and environmental groups have taken a stand against fracking in our state, while the General Assembly has worked to get the ball rolling, passing legislation that could start issuing permits as early as next year.
Can fracking be safely done in our state?
Fracking hasn't been done safely anywhere that it's happened.
Fracking involves drilling horizontally more than a mile below the surface into shale rock. That rock is then cracked, and millions of gallons of chemically treated water are pumped in under very high pressure, allowing gas to flow back up the pipe.
I believe that it can be safely done in our state. There is scant evidence, if any real evidence, that any damage has been done either to people or the environment.
Senator Ron Rabin is one of a handful of lawmakers caught in the local spotlight for his support of fracking.
The fracking crew voted to put our families at risk. They all voted to fast-track fracking.
To say that this is fast-track is nonsense, quite frankly. For 4 years, we've been studying the problem.
Those studies have found 2 shale basins in North Carolina that are believed to be capable of producing natural gas. First, the Dan River Basin near Rockingham County, and second, the Deep River Basin, with the highest concentrations found around Chatham, Moore, and Lee County.
If you come visit these counties and talk to the people in the communities, you'll see they're very tight-knit neighborhoods, and their concerns are very real. They're worried about their air. They're worried about their water and what fracking can do to their entire way of life.
Come on, girl. We just don't want our community destroyed.
Wilfred Wicker and his wife Kay live in Cumnock.
You see how quiet it is out here? We'd like to keep it that way.
It's a part of Lee County lined with signs making clear their concerns.
Is there a worry here in this community?
Huge worry. Huge worry.
It's a worry only worsened by the fact that, like many people in the area, they don't own their mineral rights, meaning if a fracking company bought them, the gas under their property is fair game.
They can come up and set up something right here, and we can't say a word to them.
There are people out here that thought they owned their mineral rights, and when the GIS map came up, they didn't.
They had no clue.
No.
The main thing we're worried about is the water. You know, we use the well for our goats, our dogs.
It's something state geologist Dr. Kenneth Taylor is working to address, helping lawmakers draft the 120 proposed rules that would shape how fracking would be regulated in our state.
Are these rules, are they allowing us to frack safely in North Carolina?
I believe there are. The number one way groundwater got contaminated in other states was to have a poor construction standard for oil wells being drilled.
He says the separation of fracking zones from aquifers, the layers of cement and steel surrounding the well, and the required water testing all help make the chances of error very low.
The question is, how big are those errors going to be and what's the consequence? And when it comes to our drinking water supply, there's no room for error.
There have also been serious concerns over fracking companies being able to keep the chemicals used in their fracking fluid hidden from the public eye. Some states like Texas require full disclosure, but in North Carolina, the way the rules are written now, the companies could apply for trade secret protection, and only DENR and emergency officials would know what chemicals are being used in case of an emergency.
The best case scenario would be full transparency to put communities at ease.
Other worries include using too much water, air pollution from methane gas, and the possibility of earthquakes. But the State Mining and Energy Commission say all of these concerns are covered with the proposed rules.
We've had the advantage of being last at the board, therefore we get all the advantage of other states' mistakes.
Mistakes people living near the prospected drilling land say are too risky.
Our homes, these places that we love, would be totally desecrated by industry.
Do you believe that the benefits outweigh the risk of these families who are saying, please do not frack on our property?
Ask the people who don't have jobs.
It's not going to be that many jobs for us or anyone around here. They're going to bring people in here that they know how to do this stuff, but they're going to do it quick and get out.
My plea, not my advice, my plea would be listen.
Eventually, you have to take a risk.
Yeah, but he don't live in this community. Where are they going to do it at?
If he would like to take a risk in his backyard, I'm happy with that.
Leave this little community alone.
Jonathan Rodriguez, WNCN News.
So Diener wants your input on the newly proposed rules. They'll be hosting 3 public hearings around the state. You can read all the rules and find out where you can comment right now at WNCN.com.